Hello guys, welcome to Medicophili first podcast. So I'm your MC Mahesh and we are having our first guest Vinay. So today in this podcast we are going to discuss about the travel experience from Philippines to India and India to Philippines in this COVID situation. So here our friend Vinay went to India recently and he is going to share his experience about his journey. So Vinay, this is my first question. So in this Philippines, the Philippines didn't lift the ban from India. So how did you went and how's your experience?
Firstly, thank you for having me here, and I will be able to share as much as information that I know because it will be very helpful for the students, especially who wish to go to India, because there are a lot of things that they have to consider while going, especially the prices and also the other things that they have to take into considerations. And yeah, I will answer your first question, which is then what is the thing that while going to India that I have to pay. Especially I should just mention my school because it is not that easy to just get your temporary exit clearance. You have to really work on it a lot, and you have to just really prove them that you are in a problem. And then once if it is approved, then you will get a temporary exit clearance, and that is where you have to actually start planning for your journey. And actually I did the same thing. I just got my temporary exit clearance from the school, and then now I just went and applied. I just started planning for my journey. The first thing that I did is to book an international flight. But for booking an international flight, actually, if it is not a out of COVID situation, probably in 2018 or 19, if I went to India, I already went to India. I went to India, probably in maybe 2018 to 2019. That time, it only usually costs around 40,000 INR in Indian rupees. For my round trip, for which I can go from Philippines to India and then come back again in that 40,000. But now here the situation is very different. Okay, for while going, we actually prefer two airlines if it is not COVID, because it will be our cheapest route to go, which is Silk Air or Cathay Pacific or Cathay Dragon. But now, since due to some restrictions and also scheduled flight bans in India, so now you cannot travel anymore with the Silk Air or Cathay Pacific or Cathay Dragon, and due to the COVID restrictions, so I have to fetch another route, and also consider the prices as well. So for this, I just consulted a travel agency, for which they just searched for a lot of flights and then suggested me a flight which is of Etihad Airlines. And generally we know that Etihad is Abu Dhabi's main airline. So yes, my halt would be in Abu Dhabi first, and since I live in Davao and the Etihad flights are generally from Manila, so the first thing that I have to do is first I have to travel from Davao to Manila, and then in Manila I have to board my international flight by completing my immigration there, and then go to Abu Dhabi and then come back to India again, because it is actually the longest route. But as far as the price is concerned, this route is the best route actually, but it is a little time consuming. Yeah.
Okay, so as you went to Abu Dhabi and next to India, right?
Yes.
So in India, is there any quarantine situation, like you want to stay in a particular hotel and you want to spend the 14 days and then you want to go to your home?
Not actually, but there is something like when I started, I completed my immigration in Manila, and then I boarded my international flight of Abu Dhabi, and then through Etihad Airlines, and then I took a halt over there, which is a 22 hours of layover, and then from Abu Dhabi to Hyderabad. So after reaching Hyderabad, obviously I have to go through immigration process and all. So I'm done with immigration, and there are few things that you have to really look ahead and plan ahead. I mean, you have to complete ahead, and you have to keep the documents aside, maybe the virtual documents and also the physical documents, like your negative RT-PCR, which should have the validity, since you are traveling from Philippines, it should have the validity for at least 48 hours to 72 hours. And also self-declaration forms, which is very mandatory for the the Indian government on arrival. So on the immigration will definitely ask you for a copy of it. So, and there are a few things like this, that, and also you have to download Arogya Setu app and register in that app. So there are a few things that actually keep on changing in times. So when you just plan to travel, after booking a flight, just go through the site. Actually, when you just book a flight, they just tag you the guidelines under your flight ticket. So you have to go through it thoroughly and then be prepared ahead of time. Just if you have some time, you just complete everything, and it's better to have a hard copy of everything rather than of soft copies. So yeah, I did the same. Like I downloaded Arogya Setu app, and then the self declaration form, and also the negative RT-PCR test, and then but I did not require any quarantine on arrival in India, but they will ask you to follow strict home quarantine for at least 14 days. So you have to be aware of it, and then on arrival in airport, you will undergo a swab test, for which you will be charging around 950 to 1000 rupees. So you have to keep your Indian currency, or you can just pay through some Indian apps like GPay or Google Pay or even Paytm. So, but make sure that you have that amount that to pay at the airport, and then you will be go to the. I mean, you should undergo the RT-PCR test in the airport, and then that is the time when you will proceed to the immigration, and then they'll just check for your passport and then every validated documents that you are required to provide them. And yes, once you are done with the immigration, and then you are set free to go, and there is no quarantine required.
Okay, then the requirement for the stay and all, does the vaccination has any option for the requirements? So is it compulsory for the vaccination, like 2 doses or 1 dose in the Philippines or in the Hyderabad?
Actually, vaccination does not play a major role when you wish to go from Philippines to India, but it actually plays a major role when you have to come back from India to Philippines. And the reason why it might be you are non-vaccinated, it's better if you are vaccinated, and especially if you are fully vaccinated, it will be very useful for you in your return journey. But on your arrival in India, you have to just I think they did not ask me for any are you vaccinated or not, but they just asked me that you have to undergo some RT-PCR tests by paying this amount, and then you need not to stay for the results. The results will automatically sent to you by some email or the mobile number that you provide them. And vaccination, getting fully vaccinated is not that required, while if you wish to go only from Philippines to India, but it plays a key role, or it plays a very important role if you just wanna come back.
Okay, that's good. And now I want to know, so you went to India and you completed your work. Now you want to return to Philippines. So while you were in India, there was a lift-off travel ban in Philippines. So
Yes.
how was it helpful to you? And did you have any changes in your travel route, or the decreases in prices, or any requirement changes? So go through the process.
Yes, I should admit that I was very lucky, and I was very fortunate to know this matter that the travel ban has lifted up, because it's been only 6 days I've reached India, and it's been 6 days, and now I was just planning for my return journey, because since there was a travel ban in Philippines, then my plan was I should to go to some other country, just like Maldives or something, and then make a quarantine period there for 14 days, and then come to Manila, and then complete my 10 days quarantine there, and then come to Davao. So here is a lot more process. Actually, it is a very simple process when you go from Philippines to India, but it is a very tedious and also very expensive process if you wish to come from India to Philippines, especially in the travel ban. But since I was lucky that travel ban has lifted up, then I just cancelled my flight to Maldives, which I got a full refund, luckily. So, and then, yes, there was a change in my travel plan. I now no longer required to complete a 14 days quarantine in any other country like Maldives. Now, since the travel ban has lifted up, I can directly fly to Philippines, like Manila or Cebu, and you can complete your quarantine period of 10 days. Since I was partially vaccinated from the rules at present, I mean, while I'm traveling, if you are a partially vaccinated person or a non-vaccinated person, you should take, or you should undergo a quarantine period, and you have to stay for at least 9 nights and 10 days. You have to book a hotel before arriving into the Philippines, and that is the thing that you have to do. And they'll ask you at the after completing your immigration and after stamping your passport, then they'll next you'll be sent to an inquiry port in the airport, an inquiry hub, that the people inside that hub will really guide you and also will tell you what you have to do and what are the things required, and whether if you have just booked a hotel. And also the hotel that you book should be under the airport, under the rule and agreement of the airport. There are few hotels in Manila. You cannot book whatever the hotel you like 5-star or 3-star. Every one of you are only required or only asked to book a hotel which has a connection with the airport, and those hotels will be displayed in the Bureau of Immigration (PH) website. So you can go through that, and they'll actually send you, or you can just look at what hotels are under the government and actually the airport. So you can just go through their site, and then you can just choose the best hotel, or you can just choose the hotels. And if you are price conscious, then you can just go to the website and you can just choose for some hotels, and then you can just check for their online prices, and then that is when, or you can also go to some consultancy or any travel agency, and you can also ask them to just check for the hotels which will suit you for your budget, which will be cheap and best. Or if you wish to have some luxury, then it's up to you. So but for students, it better always consult an agency and then go ask them to just find you a best and in budget hotels, so that you can just complete your stay, and then you can also the accommodation that they will provide will also satisfy you, as what had happened in my condition is same, in my situation is same. So I just contacted a travel agency. Then I asked them to just check for just book me a best and budget hotel. So actually, it's all the hotels that are included in the immigration site will cost you around 1,600 to 2,500 per month. I mean per day. I'm sorry, 1,600 to 2,500 per day. So it's up to you whether you have to. You can also include an extra amenities like the meal and some other things. So, and also the budget per day will be dealt according to that. And you can make a total of some, and you can pay to the hotel so that they can reserve you with that name. And when you just go to and you should provide them your booking ID, so that they will at the airport they'll call the hotel, or they will just check whether you actually booked a hotel or not. And then that is the time when they will just check for your negative RT-PCR test and also your everything. Okay, and we are done with that. And now you just got out of the airport, and now you have to go to your hotel that you booked. For this, the hotel, there are some taxi hubs at the outside of the airport. Then they will just provide you with a taxi, and here is the thing, that taxi driver should drop you at the hotel, and then the taxi driver should get a sign from the hotel management that you already checked in, and this and the slip that they signed and gave him, this taxi driver has come back to the airport and hand over that slip that this candidate which actually booked in some hotel was actually checked in, and you're not allowed to go to any other outside places, and you visit here and there. You should only stay inside your rooms, and they'll just provide you the meals, and if you don't want their meal, you can just order it from outside, and they'll just drop it in the lobby and you can get it, not a problem. But and successfully just completed the quarantine for 14 days, and actually the 10 days, and on the 7th day of your quarantine, the airport will send there is an airport laboratory actually in Manila, NAIA laboratory. So this laboratory and a person from the laboratory will be sent to your hotel for taking a swab. You should undergo an RT-PCR test on the 7th day of your quarantine in Manila or Cebu. So they will come to you. They will just ask for the swab. They will just ask you to pay for the swab. Which is 3,000 pesos. In pesos, it's 3,000. You have to keep that money. You can pay it online, or you can just pay it to the agent or the laboratory technician that comes to you, and then he will just take the double samples of yours. Not single, they'll just take you the double samples, and then you will be provided with the results after 2 days of the collection of the sample, and it will be tallied to and it will be actually on the date before on the 9th day actually. So the swab will be taken on the 9th day, on the 7th day, and the results was given on the 9th day, and with that result you have to you have to submit it to the hotel management, and the hotel management will actually give you a BOQ form, which is a Bureau of Quarantine certificate that you actually completed a 10 days quarantine, and also you are tested negative. So that is very important document that you need to keep for yourself, because that is a very mandatory thing that they will ask you if you just want to enter Davao from Manila, though it is domestic. Okay, so this is the time. Now I've done with everything, and there is a pass called One Health Pass that you have to register in India while you come here, while you plan to come here from India to Philippines. And this One Health Pass, after registration, will provide you with a unique QR code, which is also very important. That and also you should have your Davao safe QR code, and also your One Health Pass QR code, and all your quarantine details and all your RT-PCR results will be updated in that QR, in that One Health Pass. So the QR of One Health Pass, the Davao Safe QR, the negative RT-PCR test, and also the BOQ certificate, which is the Bureau of Quarantine certificate, and what else do you need? That's it. And these are the documents that you have to keep for yourself, and of course the visa, the valid visa, which is the ACR card, as you all know, and also your passport. These are the things that you need to keep up for yourself when on arrival in Davao. Actually, they will just ask you for all this. There are also few inquiry hubs in the Davao airport, and on arrival they will just ask you, please provide all the documents, and then they will just take pictures of every document, and then they'll just keep a file of yours, and then that is when you can just come out of the airport, and you are now free to come and roam in Philippines, the Davao city.
Okay, that's some very good information we got there. So last not the least, so were there vast options for you to choose the airlines, or were there some limited offers for you to choose the airlines while you're traveling from Philippines to India and to India to Philippines?
Actually, they are limited. Actually, I should say this to you, I forgot to say this, but while coming back, I actually just been going through some online price checkings through some airlines. I also consulted an agency, and also I just asked them to book, can you just book a flight for me from India to Philippines, and that is the time when there are a lot of unscheduled flights, or there are a lot of flights which only have a business class, and that will actually cost you around 1,50,000 to up to 2 lakhs only the flight. And now actually I've been to 2 to 3 airlines like Qatar Airlines and few others, but the price is not being so fluctuating. It was constant about it's being from 1 lakh. It's starting from 1,50,000 and up until 2 lakhs, and some range from 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and 4 lakhs even, depending upon the airlines and the class that you wish to travel, or that because there is no economy seats available already. So so I am also fortunate to have an actually there is a travel agency called Aryan Travels. So this travel agency actually schedule a flight which is not a scheduled flight, but this is a charter flight. They just for Punjabi people. So there are a lot of people in Punjab who work in Manila, and then this Aryan Travels, which is a native of the Punjab, they just plan to just have a charter flight for Punjabis exclusively. And since the seats are available, so they just made it public that the people who are interested, or people who just want to travel from India to Manila, then there is this travel charter flight of AirAsia. So you can just for more details you can contact me. So that is when I contacted them in WhatsApp, and the price of the charter flight was 56,000 pesos, which is approximately 86 to 87,000 INR rupees. So INR that is, so I felt it's better, because I've gone through 2 to 3, even 4 airlines which prices around from 1,50,000 to 2 lakhs, 3 lakhs, and 4 lakhs. So I think this is better, that 86,000 is so far better than 1,50,000 or 2 lakhs. So I just okay, but better. I'm gonna book this flight. But unfortunately, there is a flight actually that I wish to book on some date, but unexpectedly it got filled up, and then they told me, do not worry, we also have another charter flight in few days, so you can actually book for that. So that is a time when I paid them, and only off. So all these things that maybe luck favored, or maybe it's fortunate, I don't really know, but this actually lowered my expenses. So all around it cost me around 2 lakhs to just go to India and then come back again, including all my domestic flights and also RT-PCR tests. Yeah, but be careful. You have to be very, very, very careful while you travel, because once you just tested negative, even at any of the sites, then it's gonna ruin your travel plan a lot, and it'll become more expensive. It becomes you more burden, because in Manila, if you're staying in a hotel which costs you around 25,000 pesos, but once if you just tested positive there, you have to extend your stay for 10 more days, and you should pay them 25,000 pesos more. So you have to be very careful while taking foods like cold items or something, and you have to be very careful while taking RT-PCR tests. And that was a very freak moment for me. Every time that I take an RT-PCR test, that will be a very freaking moment for me, because I don't know, even if it gets a false positive, then that's gonna really ruin my travel plan, and so many things gotta cancel, and then and also it's gonna extend my travel expenses. So you have to be very careful with that. And luckily, in all the RT-PCR tests, it was negative, and there was no any changes in my travel plan. Yeah,
by God's case, you're in the Philippines and all was very good and done. And thank you for your experience sharing. That was very knowledgeable, and we got some points that we should be noted. And I hope all the audience who are listening will get some information, and it will be helpful for them also. So that's it, guys. Today's podcast is over, and we talked about the journey of our friend Vinay from Philippines to India and to India to Philippines, and he got all the experience shared, and it hoped that
I would like to add one thing
yeah,
at last.
Yeah.
Actually, since this is a COVID situation, which is an unexpected thing, actually there is a lot of fluctuations and lot of amendable changes happening in rules. Actually, the rules are not consistent with days. In times, it gets changes. So you have to be really updated if you just want to go to India or just want to come back. You have to just go through the immigration sites, or you should actually consult your travel agent so that he could really explain you what are the things required and what are the new points or things added, or what are the things that they remove from the actually required things that you have to do. So you really have to be very very updated for all your journey, because the rules would be something today, but the rules would be another thing tomorrow. So it actually changes in time, so you really have to be updated and make your plans according to that.
Yeah, guys, be sure to be updated while you're traveling. Be careful, be safe, use sanitizers, use masks, and just be safe in this corona period. I hope we'll all be passed from this corona. So thank you, Vinay, thank you once again for sharing all your experience, and hope you guys got some knowledge and be helpful from that. So thank you and bye bye.